Hey guys and gals, Shane Stevenson here at the Buffalo Naval Park, and for tonight's video, let's call it, I've been really excited. I've talked about this quite a bit of taking our volumes and volumes of U.S. Naval Institute proceedings and creating a ready reference file. And now I have had Gabby with me for a couple of Saturdays. I've been working on it during the week. And just from 1 year, about a year and a half, we have clipped a lot of articles. And again, I'm creating a subject heading, and then these will go into folders. So this solves a couple of things. It solves all of the space from the volumes, and it becomes a resource for people to use. So I'm going to show some of the stuff that we've done already, and to let you know that it's already reaping benefits. Okay, I found an article about the Howell torpedo, right? Howell torpedo. I sent that right over to Nick Erickson at the Sullivan Brothers Iowa Veterans Museum, all right, the Grout Museum District in Waterloo, because he is, if you've watched our 29 and 29, you know, he's preparing a exhibit for USS Iowa BB-4, and he wants information on the Howell torpedo, right? So I found an article from 1922 on the torpedo, even with the cutout, so I digitized that and sent it to him, and he's reviewing it right now, and you know, he's really thankful. Also, very early on, 1922, radio communication on board ships, radio and navigation stations, right, through the 1910s and into the 1920s. And so there's been a lot of articles on radio communication, radio navigation, and I've been giving those to our ham radio group on board, and they get very excited. So they can review some of that early technology. So it's already reaping benefits, and I'm thrilled with that. And we can even use some of the articles even from the 20s. Right? I have a subject heading called Command and Control, and so I'm clipping articles out about leadership in the U.S. Navy and other military branches. And as we go through, if we wanted to, if Stephen and I have talked about creating like a leadership series or something, these are articles that we can reference into what makes a good leader. Certainly in terms of the military, and then obviously some crossover to civilian as well. So let's take a look. All right, so I've kind of broken these out already into little subjects. All right, but so we have Navy yards. All right, there's a few articles on Navy yards. General histories like the wreck of the USS Tacoma. Certainly around this time, 1922, we're looking at the Washington Treaty, so, or as they call it here, the Washington Conference. Right, so there's articles about armaments based on the treaties. U.S. destroyers, certainly around that time. All right, destroyer experiences during World War I, or the Great War, I should say. Practical hints on handling destroyers, some torpedo problems for destroyers. All right, naval doctrine. All right, so the wide-ranging Chief of Naval Operations questions. All right, is the fleet strategically concentrated? Some considerations affecting fleet policy, and you go on and on. The Far East doctrine. Hints on tactical maneuvers. All right, then we have some interwar treaty articles. All right, all about the Washington Conference. Command and Control, as I was mentioning. Radio and communication, like I was mentioning. Naval aviation. There's a ton on naval aviation, of course. All right, pretty nascent and new technology. And part and parcel with that is aircraft carriers. All right, so there's a lot on aircraft carriers in here also about, along with naval aviation. All right, aircraft carriers. the torpedoes, light cruiser armaments, U.S. submarines. And there's a few articles here about our U.S. submarines superseding the battleship. So again, that whole conversation, what becomes the center of the fleet, especially around this time. You have the older generation, the 1890s generation, saying it's always the battleship, it always will remain the battleship. Then you have the younger captains, leaders, admirals saying, no, it should be the aircraft carrier. So there's articles also about submarines, if they should be the center of the fleet as well. And then some articles that we've tabulated and highlighted, they just haven't found a home yet. All right, so a lot of aeronautics again, dirigibles, U.S. cruisers, so that can go right here. All right, so as you see, it's a great overview, and this is all just from about a year and a half, all right, of proceedings. With the right infrastructure, I can make these volumes available to people. All right, will be cut up, but as we go through, I mean, again, we have proceedings pretty much right up until the 1970s. So as we go through these, I'm not disposing of them right away, but if you'd be interested in having 1 year's worth of proceedings, especially the earlier ones, which are just bound in thick volumes, by the time you get to the 40s and 50s, they're broken out into individuals. But yeah, really excited. This brings you know, a lot of reference material to people relatively quickly, and again, saves on all of that space. Now I can dedicate, say, one file cabinet to all of these articles in the proceedings, as opposed to boxes and boxes of proceeding, the actual magazines, periodicals, and then bound volumes. All right, so I hope you enjoy, and we're doing the good work here, tabulating everything, and then can bring it to you when you come on board. All right, thanks so much, everyone, and thanks for all your support. If you liked this video, please hit the like button. If you really liked it, please subscribe. We're about 60 subscribers away from 10,000 subscribers, so we want to keep that going. All right, thanks so much, and we'll see you again soon.